three types of people in this world. Sheep, wolves, and sheepdog.
Yo, it's the story of the sheepdog, it's time to move. Protect the sheep from the wolves getting battered and bruised. Think it's the game up in this world, it's a land of bullies. Who's gonna stand up for our families? No time for woolly words and the nonsense. We enter in the contest for the sake of integrity, our courage and our conscience. I'm more than ready standing. This journey is demanding. Are you ready to respond to the call that you've been handed?
Hey, it's me, Grant Donnelly again, and this one is about procrastination. So you find yourself procrastinating? Don't worry, you're not alone. I've been doing it for this video for a wee while. But for as long as humans have walked the earth and tried to activate that grey matter up here in the pursuit of change and betterness, you know, there's always been this thing waiting in the wings to deactivate it, to switch things off. Yep. Typically, any kind of change requires additional work and effort. And your brain, it really doesn't like it because change is hard work. So it throws that procrastination switch on full pelt. Shutters come down, lights go off. So all of these long-term goals you have are fine and they're dandy and, you know, but your brain likes to live in the present. So no matter how much you want to convince it of the future benefits, the brain is really set on preservation, and preservation is now. So in case you're curious, the behavioural scientists like to call this time consistency. It's an internal battle between the wolf and the sheepdog. Yep, I've got my wolf and sheepdogs in again. So the wolf is embedded in survival mode. It's firmly grounded in the here and now in the present. And it's seeking out an easy route. It's chasing the instant gratification. You know when you reach for those Doritos? That's the wolf. On the other hand, the sheepdog's in protection mode. There's an animal, his action's there, he's vigilantly preparing, he knows that he has to do this work because he knows that it's going to pay off in the future. But here's the thing, your wolf rarely hunts alone. And even the fiercest of sheepdog is no match for the hungry pack of wolves. That's why it's imperative that we develop a system for helping the sheepdog do what he can against the wolves and win. So here are 6 practices that can help you fight procrastination and keep you moving forward. So practice number 1, I like to call it in plain sight. Now, have you ever met a food that didn't taste better, wrapped in bacon, covered in cheese? Now, sorry vegans, I know these are not your things, but I haven't. You know, when you procrastinate on something, it's a bit like eating Brussels sprouts. No one really truly wants to eat them, even though they know they should. So, if you have to eat them, at least do your best to make them delicious. You know, you smother them in that cheese, or you smother them in the bacon, season them so well, you forget what you're eating. I mean, that's what we do for us. We do it for the kids. They need to eat Brussels sprouts. Vegans love them on the other hand. Well, you know that task you've been dreading? The thing that you keep putting off? Yeah. Smother it in something you love. You know, if you don't like doing the dishes, listen to your favourite podcast. Jump onto mine, jump onto anybody's. So while you're washing your dishes and washing that junk away, you're washing your boredom away as well, you know. And you're also learning something. If you hate the idea of going to the gym, call a friend, take a walk. You get the idea. Mask the unpleasant with the pleasant. Me, I disguise everything in music. I use it as a prime, I use it as a trigger. I even built it into one of the practices here within this. Practice number 2. It's called immediate action drills. So when I was in basic training with the Royal Air Force, one of the first things I had to learn was how to safely handle a weapon. And you think, what's that got to do with here? Well, when you're learning that, these immediate action drills are drummed into you over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's really deliberate practice. Now there's good reason for that, because the consequences of screwing up can potentially have a negative impact on you, but more importantly, potentially have an impact for somebody else. So you got to take these drills seriously, because at some point there's a good chance that someone else is going to be depending on you, and you never know when that drill is going to kick in and become reality for you. So next time you're falling deep into this procrastination trap and getting bogged down, remind yourself that there are people depending on you to be at the top of your game. and follow through with everything that you've committed to. So build in and learn your drills and practice and practice. So a long time ago, in a land far, far away, in some strange language that not many people understood, some dude wrote, "Every body preserves in its state of rest or of uniform motion in the right line, unless it is compelled to change that state by forces impressed thereon." Wow, I don't even know what that means now. But the dude was Sir Isaac Newton, and it was written in the Principia Mathematica Probus Naturalis, published in 1686. It's commonly known as Newton's first law. Procrastination is a bit like the force that keeps you from starting anything important if you let it. Now, you need to be forced sometimes into making those tough decisions to remove the friction that's holding you back. Hey, it's another one in Newton's axioms. So remember, focus intensely on that task, practice your drills, and that'll see you into practice number 3. Sometimes you have to break it down like Barney. Yep, the big purple dude for the TV. Now, if Barney makes you cringe as much as he makes me cringe, yeah. But I have to give the big guy credit, because he knew how to really, really make things simple so that everybody understood. And I do mean everybody understood. Maybe that's why it was so frustrating. So we procrastinate because, frankly, it scares the crap out of us of certain outcomes. It really does. So, an example, doing our taxis, we can find it so overwhelming that we would consider jumping off a bridge with our feet tied to a big elastic band before doing taxis. I've jumped off a bridge, by the way, and it's actually a lot of fun. So what we actually need to do is make the task appear more achievable, kind of grease the wheels so you can get stuff moving. There's that Newton guy again. Anyway, if you've ever run a marathon, I did a long time ago, then you know when you're running, sweating, feeling like your legs are about to fall off. It's literally one step in front of the other. Plod, 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 and keep going until you get to the end. You're not even thinking about the finish. In the marathon of life, we all get caught up in this idea of this huge goal in the end, but we forget it's the things that we do daily and the small tasks that help us finally cross that finish line, one step at a time. There's a procrastination researcher, there's a guy out there that does this called Timothy Pychyl, and he says all procrastination is an active attempt to regulate mood. I mean, we go out of our way to avoid what we think is an inevitable outcome. And we always seem to default to a negative. So that's where the next practice comes in. Practice number 4. And it's Miller time. I don't mean beer Miller time, although depends. I mean Glenn Miller time. So when it comes to music, my papa, my granddad, liked 2 things. And those 2 things only. Crooners and the sound of big band. Begin to Begin was his go-to song. Glenn Miller, his go-to big band guy. Now, at the time Jimmy Stewart hit the TV with the Glenn Miller story, there was silence in the house. So that just shows you how kind of old I'm getting. It was all black and white. Tunes like Pennsylvania 6500, Little Brown Jug, Moonlight Serenade are carved into my memory forever, but in a good way. But those songs don't compare to the classic for me is In the Mood. Now, if you haven't heard In the Mood, jump on a Google, or whatever search engine you use on the interwebs, and type in Glenn Miller In the Mood. I defy you not to shake and bust a move. But what does all this storytelling have to do with procrastinating? Well, do you know that you procrastinate the most when you're in a bad mood? Hey, remember that Timothy Pychyl guy I was talking about in the one above? Yep, it's true. You're in a bad mood, so you put things off. You don't think. Because you don't want it to get worse. And you don't want to put yourself in a worse mood than you're already in. So, you got to get in the mood. You got to get in that positive frame of mind. You got to say up to procrastination and then switch the mindset into it. So, you become believing that anything's possible. That future that it tells you is not possible, it then becomes, I love music, maybe you need to find yours. Practice number 5, become a pop star. Now, I don't mean throw all caution to the wind, show up at the next edition of The Voice or Idol or whatever your favourite singing show is. Well, unless you want to really. I mean, I think that's practice number 4. What I mean is you become a superstar at procrastinating on purpose. Yep. You don't think I've gone crazy? Lost my mind yet? Maybe you will. But bear with me with this thought. If your brain wants to procrastinate, and the science says, as we've discussed, that it does, because it wants to protect you, and it has labelled procrastination as a survival mechanism, because it wants to protect you, then why don't you just feed the beast? You know, we want to convince the brain that the path that it's having to take is more pleasurable than the path that it's avoiding. So we add some, what I like to call holy shit tasks, to the beginning to the dreaded task list that I just don't like. So I'm not big in task lists, and we'll talk about that one in another video. So what you want to do is you want to make the first like 1 or 2 tasks seem relevant to what you're trying to achieve that day, that week, that month, that year. But when in actuality, they really have nothing to do with your goal. They're not really going to move your needle for you. But you place that stuff right up the top. And what happens is, the stuff that really moves the needle, you make it under it, 3 and 4, further down that dreaded task list. That way your brain, it hits you with the reward that it's craving when you say, whoa, I'm skipping 1 and 2. I'm just going to jump into 3 and 4. And that's good, you know what I mean? So it's the stuff that really you want to do that needs to get done, and your brain likes it. I know, genius, eh? But careful though. This one's a sort of an emergency kind of break glass kind of thing, because the brain can start to switch onto that. So don't use that one too often. Practice number 6. Obstacles and roadblocks. Yep. So maybe you heard of the term activation energy. It gets bandied about a lot in the self-help field. But originally again comes from science, for the physics and chemistry field. And in simple terms, it's the initial energy that's required to make something else happen. So, when we're trying to change things, such as adding a new habit or routine, we like to design environments around removing those obstacles and roadblocks, right? So that makes that new routine easier. So the activation required is less to get us moving. But that's for the good stuff. But when it comes to procrastination, well, we actually want to add obstacles and roadblocks in its way. Yep, another kind of reverse idea. Excuse me. We want to make it almost bloody impossible for it to find a way around certain things. So one of the things I like to do is I go away from all electronics. Pen, paper, notes, diagrams, ideas. I jot them down, pieces of paper. They're everywhere. But that switches me off. You know, in the summer, I like to do this outside in the porch. Gets me outside. But only working on that pen and piece of paper, I'm not tempted to check social media. I'm not tempted to do original research and jump on the interwebs. And yeah, so don't confuse this with journaling. It's not journaling. This is note taking. This is note taking to form ideas. So that type of research will come later, once I have all the ideas scripted out. But as always, try one practice. Try them all. Remember, I don't read minds. I don't know what's your life. These are some that I've found work for me. Only you know what might work best for you. Whatever you decide though, give one of them a chance. Give them all a chance. Make sure you put in a little practice before you go through them, before you throw them out. Like a scabby old pair of pants. That's the UK pants, by the way. And if you do give these practices a good old-fashioned try, then you might surprise yourself and you can potentially kiss procrastination goodbye. So remember, 6 practices help you kick the ass of procrastination. See you all later. Bye-bye.